Snow is falling south of Denver tonight. This is a look at Monument Hill, where traffic is slow going in that area. It's been a mess in the mountains today. Earlier, two massive pileups on I-70 in the Glenwood Canyon area involved 50 cars between the two of them. Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
Denver could see some light snow tonight, though it's not going to be a lot. But because of the weather, the city canceled tonight's Mile High drone show. So it's too cold. We're glad you're with us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Philip Off. It's not just the snow, it is downright frigid outside. That's why we want to get right to 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi, who's tracking all of this for you. Chris.
Yeah, Phil and Kim, something I always talk about, it's not necessarily snowfall totals. It is the amount and whether or not it's not the amount, it's whether or not it sticks to those roads. And that's what we're seeing in the Denver area. Not a ton of snowfall in terms of totals, but enough to make those roads slick. So don't be deceived by the fact that most of us will not even see an inch of snow. However, here in Aspen and in the mountains, we're seeing several inches of snow. In Denver, though, just some general flurries for us. We're in the low 20s, as Phil and Kim were saying. Very cold outside. We're seeing that snow heaviest for us here across Douglas and Elbert counties, as well as down to El Paso County. So generally speaking, it's the south side of the metro area seeing that heaviest snow right now. And the San Juan's getting some pretty good snow right here across our southern mountains, but it's slick atop all the passes, the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels, Vail Pass, Monarch Pass, all that very slick. And we'll see that snow continue over the next couple of hours across the south metro area. It will break up after midnight tonight. Now, those overall headlines, we've got more snow on the way for us on Wednesday. Could be our first shovelable snow of the season for us in Denver. I'll tell you about it in a couple minutes.
Chris, thank you. When temperatures drop this low, the city opens up shelters all across the city for people experiencing homelessness.
This past week marked the first emergency shelter opening since this past February. 9 News reporter Angeline McCall spoke with a homeless advocate tonight about keeping people out of the cold.
Right, such a needed service. The first of these cold weather shelters opened on Tuesday, then open again on Friday, and they've been open ever since. And just to give you guys some perspective, 67 nights of the season last year, that's how many nights they were open. As temperatures plunge, people rush to emergency shelters or the inside of a tent.
It is really harsh to be out on the streets. It is a level of discomfort that most of us will never know. To have to sleep night after night out on the streets.
Homeless advocate Amy Beck says this tent and others have either gone unnoticed or ignored despite the city's camping ban.
It's very surprising to see any tent downtown. They're not allowed to set up any longer. And typically when a tent is set up, within minutes, someone shows up and tells them to take that tent back down.
It's a small level of protection, proving people will do anything to survive during the day and especially at night.
For the folks that are on the streets right now, it is definitely the overnight temperatures that are the most difficult.
The city has activated cold weather shelters across the city as overnight lows dip into the teens. Denver has experienced temperatures as low as 8 degrees.
The fact that people are coming indoors should be a signal to the city that people want to be indoors, right? They are looking for solutions. They're looking for some stability.
And while a temporary shelter can help save lives, Beck says she thinks it'd be more effective as a more consistent solution.
The biggest issue is that they're only open when it's 25 degrees or less. The shelters should remain open throughout the entire winter because I think it's inhumane to constantly bring people indoors and then kick them out.
And when we talk about numbers and averages, roughly 600 people between individuals and families use these shelters every single night that they're open, according to the city. So really widespread impact here. In Denver, Angela McCall, 9 News.
Bad weather around the country is causing some problems at DIA on one of the busiest travel days of the year. The flight tracking website FlightAware is reporting hundreds of delays, but only a handful of cancellations. The airport previously said they expected more than 845,000 passengers to go through TSA checkpoints between November 21st and December 1st. That's up nearly 10% from last year. The airport expected the most flyers of the Thanksgiving travel period today. People we talked to were grateful for a relatively easy flying experience.
Recently, a lot of flight cancellations and all of that stuff going on, so worried about a flight cancellation or just like since it's a holiday weekend, like a ton of people, long lines at security, but we didn't experience any of that, so we're very thankful.
4 flights in 7 days, 6 days, and none of them were delayed. The TSA lines weren't bad. I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That is a good thing. The airport says it expected to screen more than 96,000 passengers today alone.
Tomorrow marks 8 years since a teenage girl was found murdered inside a burned home in Park County. CBI is still renewing its call for help, bringing her family justice. 17-year-old Maggie Long's house near Bailey was burglarized and set on fire December 1st, 2017. Maggie's body was later found inside the home. There is still a $75,000 reward offered for information leading to an arrest and conviction in the case.
Tomorrow, the new Aurora City Council will meet for the first time. During the November election, voters decided to oust the council's conservative majority, including nationally known Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky. The progressive sweep was part of a nationwide trend of voters moving to the left in the off-year elections.